Yo guys, what up? Back on another stream. Hopefully this should be a lot better than last time. So what we're doing today, I was about to just jump in and start playing around with some Octane scatter. I had made a render a couple of days ago that I was trying to use Octane scatter to scatter some trees for the render network Utopia rendered challenge. And what I ended up doing was, let's make sure we get all of the stuff on here for, hang on one second, almost. I think the stream should be a lot better than it was last time. Right, because last time I figured out I had a bunch of issues with, actually DaVinci, I actually needed to update my streaming deck, profiles, streaming deck. Oh, there it is. So I make sure I gotta turn the chat on. Agent Rat, hey, what up? Oh, that's actually working automatically. That was nice. How you doing? I ended up having to redo my Blender, or re-update my Blender. Basically, there was a new add-on that was not an add-on, but an updated version, and I basically took off my old version and put the new version on, and everything worked fine. I don't know what was going on. I had that. I think it was a server issue that was really causing the problems. So today I want to get back to that and see what I'm going to do here. I'm just playing. I'm just going to play for a little bit here. I got time before work. So I want to do some scattering. And what I want to do is I'm about to release today's video later on about this dust add-on I made. Not made, but I watched it. It was made for Cycles, and I got it to work for Octane. I made a version of it. Let me turn all this text off. And what I want to do, scale this up for a minute here. Apply scale. Is I'm going to be playing with Octane scatter. So let's actually, I got these boxes here from Quixel Bridge. Let me go ahead and jump out of that really quickly. Jump in. Oh, I still got to get still need to assign all my quick keys to my mouse, which are not selected at the moment. That sounds sick, man. How you doing today? What are you working on? You got any projects that you're working on or anything like that? This box looks pretty cool. Agent. So it's similar to G-Scatter. You know, it's not. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. G-Scatter is awesome. Like G-Scatter, it's awesome because that's what it's made to do, is just scatter stuff. Now, kind of squeezing my brain on ideas. Yeah, well, that's what I'm kind of doing here, just playing around, trying to see just what flows, right, and see what pops off. What we're gonna do here, again, just trying to learn how to use the Octane system. And where is Dennis at? Okay, let's get Dennis over here. I just want to make sure these boxes are to scale. And they are looking about right. Okay, that's good. And let's get another box in here. And this actually, you know what I want to do on one of these? Let's take this. And then let's get another box. And let's make like a stack. Let's make a stack. How often do you stream? Honestly, not very often. I just started like trying to stream again consistently. I used to before, when I had my other when I lived in my other apartment, because I had great Wi-Fi hotspot signal. I had a great Wi-Fi hotspot signal, and like I can do 5G and be perfect. And then I moved to this new apartment, and like literally I just don't get 5G coverage over. I mean, if I walk out of my building, I got 5G coverage, but in my room where I'm at, it goes to 4G coverage. So it just sucks. Like, it bums me out, the internet a little bit here. So I don't do it as much, but now I think I found a better spot for my Wi-Fi hotspot to sit, and that might yield a little bit more better signal. How is it right now? I mean, is it lagging? Is it like, how is it? I haven't checked it yet. How is everything on the stream so far? Walls, oh, absolutely. No, well, they're concrete. And at my other place, they weren't concrete. They're just like wood, because I can knock on the wall, I can hear them hollow, and like our neighbors upstairs, it was like dum dum dum. Here it's literally concrete. I knock on the wall and it's like gong, gong, gong. So yeah, that concrete is killing the signal. So I have it by my window right now to try to help me get a better signal. And I suspended it up off of the desk. It was sitting on the desk. Now I have a tripod and I have it sitting so it's floating in the air. And I've noticed that today I was doing some internet speed checks, and before I would always get red for streaming, and today I actually got yellow. So I was like, okay, so it might like the position that it's in now. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna start trying. I prefer to stream, honestly. Like, it's just fun because I can interact with you guys, and like right now we're chit-chatting, you know. So my current apartment walls are like 15-inch thick. You know, being here with earthquakes and stuff, I don't mind that. But as far as internet signal, yeah, it sucks. Alright, so now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and scatter these boxes here. What I'm hoping is that I could, you know what, like this system here, I want it to be one system. You know what I probably should have did? How could we do this? Can we just group it? Let's just try it. Again, we're just trying stuff. Control G. Or Control J. What is it? Control J or Control G? Control J? Join? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Control J. Alright, now, to get this spread out here, I don't think this needs to be so big. Apply scale. Make sure you apply the scale one every time you move that around. Man, I really need to set my hotkeys back up to my mouse here, dude. I have to do that after this stream because like I keep pressing my hotkeys and they're not responding. I'm using the Logitech G502 Hero mouse. It's got all these programmable buttons. So I have so many things programmed, like, you know, taking off overlays, all this stuff programmed on my mouse, and it's just man, I wish I would have bought this mouse years ago. It's so much quicker and easy. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're in the shading tab. Okay, we don't need these right now. Let's go ahead and close that up a little bit. Let's actually change this back to shading nodes. Close that. Now to get this to work, what we're going to need to do is, this is the plane I want to scatter on. I don't want to see that camera right now. Good. We're going to go to new, add a new material onto it. And, ooh, why did it add why did it do that? Did it just add in a cycles material? It did, huh? Hang on. New. Whoa, what's going on with that? Again, this is the new version. This is the newest update, guys. There's been some slight changes, so I'm still trying to figure out. I did a Instagram reel about some of the new changes, so bear with me. I might come across some of these new changes. Oh, what am I doing? Dude, that happened to me today. Okay, so that might be something different going on, because they did make some changes to the add-on to be in line more with Blender Octane cycle or Blender cycles. I added some extensions and it did, and one of them did that. Yeah. Oh, interesting. But it's no biggie for me because literally I switched to cycles. Like I flip over here in this scene, and then this scene is cycles. Like I'm in cycles now. Like I built two scenes. Here's my cycle scene and here's my Octane scene. All right. Okay. So now we've got this. We've got a material. Take the material off. I'm going to actually call this scat. Actually, I'm just going to call this boxes. Right? And then we're going to add in a new material. And we're going to call it, but it went away after a few hours. Honestly, I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll have to search my Octane bot in my Skool community. Let's go. We're going to go scatter on surface. Grab the scatter on surface. Plug this into the displacement. And then we're going to add a surface, and this is going to be our surface. We're going to click on this eyedropper, and I'm going to click on the plane because this is going to be my scattering plane. What is it? F2 to rename this. I'm going to call this scat. We're going to just call this scat plane. All right, so I know what we're scattering on. Then my boxes, all my boxes, I'm going to take all my boxes and put them in a collection. I'm going to go boxes. Right, are all of them in there? I think I'm missing one. Boxes. Okay, everything's in their collection, and then we got this scattering plane. So everything's nice and tidy. Now, what we got to do is we got to tell Octane, hey, I want this plane to be a scattering system. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the render so we can see what's happening real time. And quickly, I want to just, for the moment here, I'm going to go to world. just going to add my black background on there just because I don't want to see the world. There we go. And back to you. And what we do is now we click on our plane, go down to data properties, and we're going to scroll down, and right here we have said geometric nodes. We're going to click on this. We're going to look for boxes, because that was what we named it over here, this material, boxes. And then we're going to select scatter on surface. Now you see it disappears, right? Because now it's ready to accept our scattering. So what do we want to scatter on this? We want to scatter these boxes. So I'm going to go scattering object number 1. I'm actually going to select the box version that we made. Okay, hang on, I think it might be massive. That's why I went. And then, ooh, hang on, I can't see what I'm doing. Yep, it's massive, just like I figured. That means I didn't apply the scale on the boxes either. That's why probably. Let's click back on. Actually, matter of fact, hang on. Let me just take that out for a minute, and let's click back on our boxes. And I'm gonna apply the scale. Ooh, that was rotation. I didn't want to do that. Whatever. Apply scale. Apply scale, apply scale, and apply scale. Okay, now let's click back on our plane, and again, let's go ahead and select our eyedropper. I'm going to select on this box. I'm going to select on this small box. It comes in massive. For a minute, let me just, and let me add in a third object, and we're going to click on the next box. And did I click on the other box yet? And then let's add the fourth object, and we're going to click on this box setup here. How long have you been using Blender? I've been using Blender since 2010, but I've just started playing with Octane in 2013. But then it was like I couldn't find anything about it. I couldn't find any videos on how to use it. It was absolutely horrible. Like, I hated it. So I just kept using cycles like everybody else did. And then finally, 2 years ago, I just started, you know what, I was like, you know what, I liked Octane because I used to use Cinema 4D before that. And when I was using Cinema 4D, I loved Octane. And eventually, yeah, I was like, you know what, I just want to go back to Octane. Like, I like cycles. I'm not going to hate. Cycles is great. But I like Octane. And then I just said, you know what? I'm going to commit to it. Like, I was like, I'm going to do 30 days of renders. I'm going to do 30 dailies of just boxes and spheres. And I'm only going to use Octane to render it in. Just to help myself learn how to use Octane. And that 30 days turned into 2 years. Now I just always use Octane. Because now I understand how it works. Which is better? I would say Cycles is pretty fast right now. Cycles is quick, but Octane has a different look to it. So I have both. Like I just showed you. I switch over here and I'm in Cycles, and I'm back here, I'm back in Octane. So I use both. Like, it just depends on the project and what I want to do. I don't do this for like a profession. Like, I do this as for fun, and like I just like having fun with 3D, and I like building my community. And once you use Octane, you can never go back. You know, I don't time I go back if there's like some geometry nodes, and I have to use it because it hasn't been updated yet for Octane, but eventually it's getting better. All right, now that we've got some stuff scattered on here, it doesn't look right, and it looks like one of these boxes is still might be off. Apply scale, but I can fix that later, I think. Apply scale. Apply scale. Yeah, we'll fix that later. Okay, so now I think it's worth switching to Octane. I mean, I like Octane, bro. Like, for the stuff that I do, I like Octane. Now, what we want to do is get these to really scatter on here, because right now they're only scattering on the vertices, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So what you do is you come over here to back to our plane. Make sure you're on your plane, and you're going to come down to distribution right here, 1 per vertex. That's why it's only doing that. So if I change this to random instances by relative area, now you see we've got just one lone box right there. But we come down to instances, we only have 1. So if I take this and I go to 200, boom! CC not going to lose nothing if you try it. You know? Boom! Look at all those. We got 200 cardboard boxes, and they're massive. So what we need to do is go to the scaling. I don't know what's up with one of them. Scaling is not right. So what I'm going to do is go down to scale node right here. If you go from fixed to randomize with this, whatever that is. I'm going to grab max and just bring them all down. Okay. But right now, I don't like that because now it's making all my other guys so far. Those scans, those boxes are really, yeah, they're Quixel Bridge, Quixel Mega Scans. Like I got all those before, you know, they went to. Well, I didn't get them. I just basically went to the site and, you know, registered before they went away. Hang on, let's go back to fix. Why is this? We got one rogue box that's just not playing right with like everybody else, right? This one rogue box here. So I might just kill that box because I don't know why it's doing that. Which box is it? Oh, it's this little small box. Apply scale. Oh, there it is. Boom. All right. The smallest one was the largest one. So now let's go back up here to my here, and now we should, let me go ahead and set this back to 1. All right, boom. There it is. Dude, it's freaking hot in here, guys. It's freaking hot in here, man. All right, now, because I got this light on here. There's our boxes. Now what we can do, looks like we have some rotation issues. Like this guy here is on its side. So now what we do is if we come back for rotation issues, we come here to orientation priority. Why were you wearing t-shirts? Yeah, I know. The other room is actually really chilly because the air conditioner's on. I was in there earlier. If we come here and go to orientation priority, go to front, boom. Now that turns everything up right. But it turns the main one up right, but this box is still off. So then what I normally do is like if there's like one thing that's not kind of playing right, like this guy here, I think what we should do is just come into here. Was it this box? I think it was that box. And I think what you can do is just play with the orientation. Let's like select this box, rotate on X. Let's go like rotate X 90. And does that change anything? No, that doesn't. I don't even know if that's the right box, to be honest. Oh, no, it's not the right box. It's this box. Let's actually apply rotation on that. Apply rotation. What does that do? Boom! That fixes that. All right, boom. Apply rotation. So we might want to do that to the others. You know, it is, but then it isn't, because like the only thing that's sad about it is like right now we see it, but if I turn the render off, nothing. Right? So it kind of works on a scenario based setup. Like if you don't mind having your render run, to see like nothing shows up until we turn on the render. So boom. You know, I would say it has its moments where it can be used. So now what I want to do, is there any other ones that are kind of weird? Yeah, this skinny box here. And I think it's this box here. Apply rotation. Yep, and that fixes that. Alright, so cool. But now you notice we don't have a ground plane. Our ground plane actually turned into the geometry. So what I typically like to do is I'll come into our scatter again, our scatter plane. Duplicate it. Come down here, turn off this, turn this off, and actually turn that off. I'm thinking if you're making rocks on the ground, it wouldn't get in your way. Actually, no, that's right. And like what I was doing for my tree render, actually I was going to show you the tree render. It actually was like a benefit because when I turned the render off when I was working on it, like the trees weren't in the way. And that was one thing I didn't realize. So like I turned the trees on, I'm like, I can't see. What? So where is that render that I did yesterday? I did a test render, forest number 2. And MPEG forest number 2. Here we go. So, well, it's gonna be really loud. Hang on for a moment. So I was testing this out, and this was here again, same process. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Just testing, you know, just again adding up. Like I have 4 different tree assets. And just scattered on this plane. Or actually scattered on some landscape, like some terrain. And yeah, like it came out good, like just for a quick test shot. My favorite shot is this overhead shot right here. That is actually really cool. See, this is before the edit. I added some fog. Had some fog in there, some atmosphere. This right here, this is my favorite shot. It's like a drone shot looking straight down the canyon, like as the canyon falls away. Look at the depth on that. Look at that. That looks so gorgeous. That looks cool. Yeah, it looks really cool. And that's the same system that I'm using right here, right? So now there's our ground plane, right? And now we do notice that they're sitting through the ground plane. So this is a great opportunity to figure out how we get that up there. Now I could just move the ground plane down, but I want to actually figure it out through the system so I can figure this out. So translation here. Let's see, maybe grabbing this up. There it is. Well, no, now that's bringing this box. So this box is set the origin. So now it comes back to the origin point. You used the render on that? Yeah, I used the render network. Actually, I used the render network for the yeah, I used it all. I used it on only on one camera because my other two, the files for some reason wasn't rendering. I don't know what was that. It was having an issue. But now origin point, I think, is next issue. Where is the origin point on these guys? Set origin to geometry. Oh man, I forgot. I gotta turn on that orbit. See, now when I uninstalled it, I did a super clean uninstall, and unfortunately I uninstalled my preset that always kind of like when Blender, whenever you update Blender, it keeps your preferences. Well, it actually cleaned all of that out. So like, I like when you have object selected, it orbits around that object that you have selected. Where is that setting at? Oh man, where is that setting at? Not animation system. Talking about navigation. Orbit right here. Orbit around selection. So now, yeah, there we go. Okay, now is it just me, or am I not seeing the origin point for this? Like, I'm not seeing the origin point for this thing. Where is the... Are we not... Why are we not seeing the origin point? Yeah, this... Yeah. Hang on, dude. Why am I not seeing origin points? Is there another setting that I have to turn on? Oh, latency? Am I... Is that me or... Well, right now I've got green lights on here, so we're not dropping any frames. I don't know. Well, now, why am I not seeing the origin point of anything? For example, like this plane. See, we don't see the origin point, that little dot. Is that like a setting that you have to turn on? Am I not seeing something right? Do I have all my... text shouldn't be there. Floor. Oh, hang on. Floor. No. Let's go to this layout here first. Ah, there it is. Why is it in this layout and it's not in the shading layout? See, in the shading layout, the dot's not there. Layout, the dot's there. This was in the overlay settings in the middle of the right. Overlay settings. Viewport overlays. Cursor. Hang on, let's see what we got here. 3D cursor, orientations, relationship lines, origin. Oh, okay. Origins, yeah. Okay, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Okay, now go back to shading. Oh, and it's turned off. Yeah, see? Okay. Interesting. Okay. So now, if I click on it, there it is. Okay, there's our origin point. Origin points are off. So these should be technically like at the bottom. so the object will sit on the ground, right? Let's do that one. Where's this? Select that. GZ. All right. Now let's see what this looks like. Okay, now everything is floating. Okay, that's not bad. Let's click back on our scatter plane. Actually, let me name this one here ground. All right, back on our scatter plane, and now let's change this back to 0. And everything should be sitting on the ground. Nice. Okay, that's cool. So that's how we get things to sit on the ground using the scatter system. Now let's get crazy with this. Let's get crazy with this. Let's come into rotation. How do we? Okay, let's go to rotation, random with coupled axis, and then let's go to 360 here. 360. This is the Z. Now we rotated them around. All right, that's cool. Unfortunately, like they're touching. Like I don't know how to fix that. Right? That's where G scatter and those things come in great, because like you can kind of get like that proximity where they don't touch each other. Like I don't know, you maybe be able to do it here, but I haven't figured it out. Reference end up. What is this here? Align normals, face normals, instances. Okay, now let's also come back up here to object selection mode, sequential, random. What is this? Select by map. Select by map. Object selection map. Okay, let's put in a noise pattern right here. Let's go in noise texture, and we're gonna plug this into here. Okay, that did something different. Let's play with the noise pattern. Is it possible to convert the boxes to individual objects when you're done? Ooh, that's a good question. Like hard copy it. That's a good question. I'll have to ask my chat bot about that. I don't think so though. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I don't think so because I don't know. I might have to ask around a little bit too, and that's a great question. Actually, I'm curious about that right now. Hang on. That is a really good question. It's gonna be heavy though once you do it though, right? Especially with these things here that I'm using. It's gonna be heavy. So when you're done, you can just delete the things that are not touching. That's a good point. That's a good point. See, this was the first scene that I made right here when I was using this to test it. But unfortunately, the scene crashed and it didn't save. I never saved it. And that was the first setup that I was doing with the scattering. Like I built the rack and put everything in and started scattering like they're going to be in a warehouse. And luckily, I took a screenshot, and that was all I have left of the scene. That's all left I had of the scene. If I use Octane scatter on surface, is there a way to hard copy it or make instances of the geometry? Well, yes. Use Octane object layer, convert to mesh, or manually duplicate Viva Blender's make instances real to hard copy Octane scattering objects. Well, there we go. Step by step. Select your Octane scattering object in the outliner. If you're using Octane object layer node, object layer node, go to the node editor, select the scattered node group, use the right click menu or node wrangler to convert to mesh. If you're using Blender's particle system with Octane as a render engine, no, we're not doing that. Instancing in Blender, that's That's sick. Hang on, let's try it. Let's see if we can do it. Select Octane scatter object in the Octane. If you're using object layer node system, go to the node layer. Select scattered node group. Use right click our node wrangler to convert to mesh. Hang on, what happened to this too? Like, how come we don't see the other ones? Like, we only see. Whoa, look at that. This noise pattern is dictating what we're seeing. Like, but how does it? Okay, check this out. Check this out. I want to see what this is doing. So I'm gonna grab this node. How could I do this? Copy this node. Click on the ground plane. Add a new material. Yep, there it is again. Why is that coming on? Add a new ground material. Paste that node in here. Plug it into the albedo. And make that just like that. So what I want to see is the noise pattern. I assume every box is a float number, so the noise texture controls which box appears on it. Oh, you know what? How can I get that to? How can I mirror that? Well, I just have to put in the settings. Let's just go back. Hang on. Let me come back here and let's get it like something around there. Dude, that's really interesting. Let's get a mixture. I want to get a mixture. Now I'm going to copy this because what I want to do is see what this looks like visually. Paste. So this is the noise pattern that we see. You know what? Let's do this too. Let's go back to the scatter plane. Let's add in a projection and let's add in a UV transform. And let's like scale it up. This is one thing I wish that we had in Cycles, like the quick button right here, so I can just, instead of having to press Control T, like I like this right here, easily adding a projection and a UV. I wish that we can, I wish they can implement this into Cycles, like boop boop boop. That's so, I love that about Octane right now. Now let's take this and copy this over to this, paste it. So I can just see. So it's looking like on the cracks we're getting those other boxes. Interesting here. Let's go back and change that noise pattern up. Let's go to like Voynord. No, let's actually go to something else. Let's go to Turbulence. What does the projection node do? Does it stick the texture to the face? The projection node is really important, especially when you're trying to animate anything. The texture won't stick. Like your projection is like your UV projection. Like this XYZ projection works pretty much predominantly with procedural noises. Like really works well. Like you come in here and then like you go to your projections. Here's all the different projections: box, colored, circular, you know, distortion. Here's your material UV projection. You know, these are all your different projections, circular projections. Just like when you come in here and you go tab and you go U right here, circular projection. These are all your projections, project from view. Yeah, so anytime you're using a procedural noise, we pretty much use the XYZ to UV transform, and that works best with those types of projections. All right, so how do we convert this then to hard instances? Right click on it. That's it. Gotta keep that in mind. Yeah, projections are very important. I actually have in my free Blender 101 guide, I have a few videos that are just dedicated to projections. Actually, I need to upload the next video in that series. Convert to Octane node. Oh, this is new. What is this? What is this here? Send to UV edit, convert to Octane node. That's something new. I'm not seeing the option to do that. What do we do? How do we see it? Properties. Oh, that's the properties for the actual node. Tools, view, material converter. That's my computer. View, display, node. What did it say again? Select your Octane in the outliner if you're using Octane object layer node setup. If you're using a Blender particle system as a render engine, use F3 to make instances real. Now, are you talking about Octane Blender? Make sure you're giving me instructions just for Octane Blender. Are you using Octane scatter node, object layer, or I'm using an Octane scatter node. Octane object layer. Yeah, we're not using a particle system. Yes. Right click on the Octane scatter node and choose convert to mesh in the shader or in the object node editor. Build 2025 only. Really? Okay. Maybe in the node editor here? Where are we at? Scatter plane scat. Ah, convert to mesh? Really? Hang on, let me turn the render off just in case it crashes. Convert to mesh? I don't think so. No, that didn't do anything. Make a group, insert to a new group, join into a frame, remove frames. Scatter plane. Mark as asset. No, that's not working. Okay, let's scroll down here. Let's go. Primitive. Octane geometry node. I'm not seeing that. Hang on. I don't see what you're saying when I right click on the. I don't see that option to convert to mesh. You are likely using an older version of Blender. No, I'm not. I'm using a newer version. Or the scattering node is placed in a material node. Oh, it is. Yeah, or the scattering node is placed in a material node tree rather than the object node tree. The conversion option only appears in newer versions inside. Okay. So what do you mean by node tree? Okay, I am in the node tree. It says Octane version. Check about Blender. Yes, I know that. I did that already. Node context. Make sure scatter object layer node is inside the object content node editor. Accessed from object. Object, use nodes, object. If you already have it. Okay, what is object? What do they mean by that? Because this was, yeah, we're in the shader node right there, so that doesn't count. Right, we're in the shader node. In the object node, I don't know what they mean by object. I'm gonna have to play with that later, but yeah, I really want to figure that out. Okay, that's cool, but I'm gonna figure that out later. Now let's come back in here, and what else can we do with the scattering? Let's go back and change this other ground plane here. Let me quickly just change that to something like a ground. Alright, I gotta go now for an exam I gotta take. Had fun being on the stream. Good luck with this project. Hey, thanks for joining in. Cool spending time. Good hang. Yeah, I got about 20 more minutes left here, and I gotta make my motions for work. Good luck on your exam. Head down, grind it out. Grind it out. Where was I gonna do? Oh, I know what I was gonna do. I was gonna add a texture to this really quickly. Let's go to assets. Thanks, goodbye. Alright, see ya. Let's go into Quixel. Yeah, where's it at? Quixel. Quixel. Let's go to shaders. Just want to put something on here on the ground. I'm just gonna put this concrete on there. Oh, I don't think I put it on there. I probably should have did it in here. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's cool. You know what? I'm actually going to just do something really quickly here with this. Let's make like a warehouse. Let's get like a side here. Let's get like RX90, rotate Z90, GX. Let's kind of like just put this over here to the side. Scale this up, right? GZ. Where's our boy Dennis here? Shift S to cursor. Always got to have some reference. Scale Y. Scale this on the Y, kind of like something like that. Actually, you know what would have been better? Just delete this. Just come in here, make a cube, and I'll scale that cube up like that. Just G. Let's come down here to the bottom of the cube. G. Let's go GZ. Kind of like that. All right. And let's jump back out. Let's come over here to the side. Let's, what should we do here? Let's just put a cut here on the side for like a window, right? And let's make the window about right there, right? Let's select this. Let's go Control D. Bevel that something like that. Alright, and then let's come in here, tab in that. Let's tab this here. Let's press P, make it its own selection. Tab out of that, make it P. Right, like that. Let's see. And then let's hide that for now. Let's jump back inside here. And it's dark. We're in our dark room, right? Let's actually drop the camera right there. And just for right now, let's get this camera kind of lined up. Oh, no, let's get that camera. Ooh, upside down. Jump back into that camera. Hold down Control. Zip in there a little bit. kind of something like this. I actually want to kind of something like this. Just for now. Let's tab out of there, right? And then let's come back here. I'm gonna put this back into. Actually, no. I'm gonna throw a texture on this. Let's throw a texture. Let's grab this, and let's throw this texture on here. And then this material here, or this opening here, I actually want to make that just like a window. Let's get some light in here first. Hang on, let's get some light in here first. Let me come back out of here, tab out of that, tab out of that. See if we can just make a quick scene with these cardboard boxes, like a warehouse, a dusty warehouse. All right, and hang on 1 second. So, what am I doing? All right, I want to see the viewport outside of here, and let's kind of bring this down so a little bit. And let's kind of take all this junk off here so I can just get a nice clean view. Was this T on that? Yep, okay, good. Click on my camera. Let's go to my camera, 50mm, that's okay. Viewport, I want to do that so I can just see, turn my limits on, that's good. And then, where we at out here, let's add in a massive light source, like the sun. Let's come in here and add in, what could we do? Oh, world lighting. Let's just come up here. Let's go to this. Let's change this world lighting to, from texture to daylight environment. All right, once we got the daylight environment connected, let's actually plug that into there, daylight environment. We can move this guy around. Ooh, there we go. Now we got some light coming through this window. Like that. Check that out. I like it. That's cool. All right, this texture on this wall is way too big. So let's scale that down. That might be too small. But that's good for now. Looks like we have some displacement going on there, some texture displacement that's a little bit off. I'm seeing cracks in the wall. Let's just seal that up, and then let's, for now, I'm just gonna kill it. Actually, undo. Actually, undo, control. There we go. For now, we'll just kill it. All right. Now, windows. Window. What can we do for a quick window? A quick dirty window. Front view of a warehouse window. Ooh, I love it. Check it out. What happened to it? I wanted to see those. We had such. Oh, right here. Check it out. Look at these. Oh, these are great. Can we go full screen? Oh, that's great. I love those. Right. Oops. I don't think I was supposed to really technically do that. Sorry. Let's come back to the part that we hid for the window cutout, which was this. Windows. Okay, cube. Room. 12:30. We gotta leave at. I need to leave at 2:34. Okay, gonna keep track of the time. All right, now this window here. Let's go ahead and solo that. Actually, hang on. I want to solo that. Make sure the camera's not good. We jump out of the camera for a minute here. This window, let's solo. Damn it. Let's solo that. There we go. And what I'll do on this window here, let's add in a new material. I don't know why it keeps doing that right now, but oh well. Let's add in a new material. Hang on quickly. Let me just see here. Alright, if anybody's watching, don't be shy. Say hi. Or you can throw up a quick little emoji just so I know I'm not talking to myself. Okay to say hi. Actually, oh, this is actually what I'm going to probably try to make really quickly. This is going to be a thumbnail for one of my videos. Right? So, but just using the boxes. Like, this is what I'm trying to mimic right here. I forgot I had that file open. That was the whole point of this whole live stream. But I just started playing with the scattering system. That was, what was this set to? Oh, there we go. Alright. So the whole goal was to do that, but now I'm back on track. So window, what are we going to do? We're going to add in a RGB image. Or I could have just dragged that in here. I don't know why I did that. Let's come back over here to my side view monitor. Screenshot. Pics. Screenshot. Drag this into here. Yeah, what's going on with that? Why? Oh, you know why? Because I probably have two. I don't know why it's doing that right now. Let's add that into Obito. Let's come into this. Go to side view. Like that. Let's tab into it. Face. Select all faces. I'm going to press U. And we're just going to project from view. Right? And then we're going to go ahead and add a projection. Add a UV transform. And it didn't look like it brought in the image. It didn't bring in the image. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and bring it in the old-fashioned way. Pictures. Screenshots. There it is. Alright, and then what we're going to do is just scale it down. Kind of like that. Hold down shift. I want to kind of get it even so I can get it just like something like that. Kind of like that. And okay. What else do we want to do with this? It's not glossy. Let's do that. Let's unhide that first. I think I actually want to make this emissive. Yeah, because now it's covering my windows, right? So what if we do this? Let me plug this into a transmission and say, yeah, we're on the specular. Let's click back on him for a reference as an orbiting source. I just want to get my windows right so we can see. Like something like that. Alright, that's upside down. The windows are upside down. So let's grab this window. Let's go rotate X 180. Nope, that's not right. Undo. Origin point set to origin point. Origin point to geometry. Rotate Z 180. Nope, that's still not right. Why is that? Oh, because the image is actually rotated, huh? 180. Nope, that's not it. Rotate. Nope, that's not it. Rotate. There we go. That's it. 180. Okay, that's cool. Now let's make this emissive. Let me hide that stuff for a moment there. And let's come into full screen for a moment. I want to take a emission node. Emission. Let's do black body because I want real world colors. Let's plug this into texture. Let's jump back out. And let's take this down to like 1. Oh, I like that. I like that. Let's go 5600 daylight. A little warmth there. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's see what keep surface brightness is on. Let's go a little bit lower. Divide by half. Let's go 0.02. Let's go times 2. Let's go 0.08. Let's go 0.10. Let's times it by 2. Times, not 52, times by 2. Just a little bit of brightness. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, what happened to our boxes? Oh, I know what happened to our boxes. Because I accidentally put that material on here. Right. So we just go back to scat boxes. Okay. Scatter plane. Turn that off. Turn that back on. There's our boxes. Okay, cool. Now, one other thing, this needs to rotate too. 180. Nope. 0. Was it the middle one? 180. Nope. 0. So bottom one, 180. Actually, let's do 90. Okay, that's looking good. I think that would be a little bit bigger. Times 2. Now it's too big. Okay. Now, I actually like the light that we had coming in there when we had that sun blasting through here. So, let's click back on this. Can we... Let's add in a grayscale color node. Okay, grayscale color node. That's making it fully... Let's give it a little bit of glossiness. Let's go... Right, now it should be like fully like a glass, but it's like washing our colors out now. Like I'm trying to do a quick, easy way on this. Like I don't want to cut everything out, because technically that's what I should do, cut everything out and then have the glass inside, you know, like the frame. I don't want to do all that. So what we're gonna do is just leave it like this. We'll leave it like that, and we'll just use this as the light source. And then what I'm going to do is fake it. Check it out. We'll also come in here, grab this. I'm going to grab this. S cursor to selected. And then I'm going to take this, duplicate it. I'm going to go GY or GX, push it inside, take off the material. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to delete it. We're just going to add in a light. Add in an area light. Where is it at? Light, area light, octane area light. Right, there it is. We're going to rotate this on the Y. 90. Rotate on the Y, 180 it. Scale it on the Y. Scale it on the Z. Let's jump back inside. Alright, and then we don't want to see the light. Let's click on our light. Actually, hang on. Where is my light? Click on my area light. Oh, that's not right. Dude, what's up with this Octane, with this cycles node popping in? It's really jacking stuff up. What's up with this? Kill that. Material output. I gotta figure out something. I don't know. It just started doing that since I updated. What am I looking for? I'm looking for material output, material output node. Surface, diffuse, yep. And then what we need, all Octane lights are basically a diffuse with an emission node on it. That's all it is. Texture node. See, there it is. We set this to 5600, and then we don't want to see this. So what you do is you just come down to opacity, bring that to 0. And why is it doing that? Is it probably clipping between there? I think it's clipping. GX, move it forward. Yep, it's clipping. Okay, good. So now we're faking the light. Let's make that, I want that shadow. I like that shadow we had. Let's come back to our light and just bring the size down. Right? And let me click back on the windows and let's go ahead. We don't really need this to emit light anymore. Now that we got the light, I'm going to kill that. Actually, we do. Undo that. We'll just turn it down low. Divide this by half. Because I want the light, we want the windows to glow a little bit. Actually, I'm going to leave it where it was. And we'll just use the light. And let me turn off the windows for a moment. Windows, turn that off. And our Octane light. There's our Octane light is actually lighting up the room. I really like what we had going with the sun though, and that shadow. That was nice with the world environment. Visible environment here, daylight system. I'm actually going to set this back to texture. I'm actually going to zero that out for a moment just so we can see what the light's doing. And this room light, this light here, let's go to 500. It's very bright. Let's go rotate on Y. Actually, I should probably turn it on so I can see where it's at, right? There it is. And since we're using the I want that shadow, man. I want that shadow that we got. Okay, G X. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I got to put it outside. Alright, but now if I turn my windows back on, it's going to block it. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We do need to fake it. Opacity. Check it out. We're going to do this. We're going to try this opacity trick. We're going to go back to the window. And let me go full screen for a moment. We're going to get crazy here. So I like what this setup is doing right here. But I want to make the frame of the window without having to make the frame, like cutting out the geometry. Another Ian Hubert trick I saw. So what we could try to do is I want to use this image as a mask. So I want to take this image. I want to add in a I want to add in a gradient map, which is a color map for us in Octane. Run my image through this. Then what I want to do is I want to see what this is looking like. Oh no, I don't have my Octane Node Wrangler set up. I totally forgot about that. Damn it, dude. Ooh, I haven't saved this the whole time. We're going to save this at least because I kind of like what we're doing here. Oh, man. I don't have my Octane Node Wrangler set up. This is a fresh install of Blender. That's why, guys. I just updated like 2 days ago. And this is actually the first day I'm actually playing with it since I've updated it. Oh, man. Ah, man. Alright, I just gotta quickly... Ah, man, that sucks. Hang on, I got too many windows open here. Let's close some of this stuff. Alright, well, at least I'm already in my community here. Let's go back to the classroom. Let's go to add-ons, assets and add-ons. Let's go to Node Wrangler Octane. Node Wrangler Octane zip. Download. I gotta keep track of my time. I gotta get ready to eat soon. Alright, we're already at the 1 hour mark anyways. But I at least want to kind of get this window mask going, happening first. Downloaded complete. Downloaded complete. Okay. Sharing my recent work with everybody. Okay, sorry guys, got distracted. That's the Blender Octane School community. If you guys want to be engaged with a bunch of members who are all hardcore about Blender Octane, links down below. All right, now we're gonna make our mask. Let's go ahead and load up Node Wrangler really quickly. What do we go to add-ons? Install from disk, downloads, Node Wrangler Octane, install. Node Wrangler Octane is installed. Okay, we should be good to go. Click on this. Boom. There we go. Easy as that. 1, 2, 3. Easy peasy. Now, I want to make a mask off of this. I'm going to crunch the values hard. Like, literally. Harder. I want to crunch the values really hard. White is transparent. Black is... so we should leave it like... White, actually, black conceals, white reveals. Okay, that's going to be our mask. Now, if I click on here and if I plug this into opacity, we should be able to opacity. Boom! Boom! Na. There it is. Ian Hubert. Well worth the Patreon. I learned that from him. That is dope. Now we've got that. Ooh, I love it. I love it. You guys see how we did that? We just took this, converted it to black and white values, compressed the values with the contrast of this, and then plugged it into the opacity. Now we've got a mask. And now we got the light coming from outside through this, and we're getting the rays on that. Ah, I love it. That's sick. All right, now let's try to get these cardboard boxes into like somewhat into play here. They're way too, I think they're a little too small. So let's go to scatter plane, and let's click back on our, let's go down to scale max. Let's go scale max. I think, undo. Fix, no, we need to change this to random with coupled, and we need, I want to make them, yeah, a little bit bigger, right? And I think this means this the minimum, I want like the minimalist one to be kind of around there, like something like that. Oh, let's turn off, I had them scattering kind of weird with this weird distribution of actually I kind of like that. Let me go back to the other way, random. Okay, now random, we're seeing way too many of one type. Distribution on particles, distribution on hair, relative density, curling. Okay, let me go back to map. I'm going to use that. I like that because I don't want them to be all. And then what else I want to, let's kind of, I don't want them to rotate as much as we have them rotating right now. Let's kind of make this bigger here so we can. 3, 6, let's set that back to 0. Okay, and then what I want to do is how can we, let's add in a whole bunch first. Let's fill this room up first. I want to get crazy. Let's go like 1,000. Oh, I'm not seeing 1,000. Is that on instances, right? Instances. That light, let's make it brighter. ×2. And then I'll do the rest through the camera imager. Let's go into my camera. Ooh! Look at that. That is nice. Let me select my guy for my reference. Okay, I like that. And then let me quickly jump into camera imager, exposure, because that's what I would do if I was filming with my camera. I will crank up my exposure a little bit, something like that. I like that. And then also I'm going to turn on highlight clipping. Just, you see right here, my highlights were a little bit blown out right here. Look, you see that? And if I turn on highlight clipping, I can kind of dial that back and get more range out of that. I don't like to go all the way, just go a little bit. You can even go clip to white with even another one, but I don't use that one too much. Denoiser, let's turn on the denoiser. Denoiser, right? I want to set my denoiser. I'm going to go 1 to 1. And then I'm going to go like 0.2 so it's not washing all my details out. I'm going to quickly jump over to the compositor. And I got my denoiser. I'm going to go to denoiser like that. Then I'm going to jump back over here. Jump over here. Change this to AOVs. There's my AOVs. Now the denoiser will kick in shortly. Boom. There's the denoiser kicking in. Alright, cool. Now I want the boxes to be kind of like more stacked up on top of each other. And I can add more boxes in too. Like, so we see how we're repeating a lot of the same boxes. That means I can just add another scattering system in and change up the boxes. But first of all, I want to get the boxes in some type of position that I like. And I don't like them where they are right now. So let's come in here to our curling next. Right here. Let's curling. Let's add in a texture. Now I wonder if I could paint. Let's go in. Let's add a new RGB, not RGB color. Let's add in another RGB image. RGB image. And let's throw this into the curl, right? Right, so we don't see anything right now. And then what I'm going to do, we want to make a new image. I'm going to call it box paint. Box paint. Right? That's okay. Black conceal, white reveal. We'll leave it black. We'll say new image. Then we're going to say use in viewport paint. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is come over here. What was it? Shift tab? Shift tab? Or what was it? Tab? I forgot the quick key for this. Let's go into texture paint. And box plane. Yes, we're on box plane. I want black and white value, color paint, hard paint. Press exit off. Yeah, it flips it. Okay, now you see what I just did? I'm painting the boxes where I want them to be. That's freaking awesome. That's dope. Right? Now I'm just kind of painting the boxes where I want them to be. Just gonna leave this area open right here. Now, I don't like. Now, one thing is important. You have. This is not being saved. This is a Blender issue. Like anytime you're doing any type of texture painting, like you have to save. Let me come in here to, where is it? General. Isn't there a texture painting? Yeah, texture paint. And let me bring in the box paint. That's what we're painting. All right. Now this is not saved, right? You gotta save this, otherwise it won't save. So let's go save and save it where everything else is at. 1 hour. Box paint PNG. Okay, save. Let's go back here. Alright, now we were painting in our boxes. Now one thing I don't like about my boxes is, because my noise texture that I was using. This noise texture is dictating what boxes are being chosen. Now, if I take this off and go back to sequential, now it's using all 4 of the boxes no matter what. All 4 of them will be in there. And you can go to random. Now it's randomly going to choose. And then you can go to map, selection map, and then use this texture map to generate it, like, just so you'll get a little bit more randomness out of it, right? Now, I don't like that we're seeing the exact same boxes over and over. So what I'm going to do is duplicate my my system. I'm going to come in here, scat plane, duplicate it. And we're going to call this scat plane 2. Scat plane underscore 2. Okay, and we're going to jump back outside here. We're going to add in some more boxes so we get more randomness. And what I probably should have did was, actually what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do this. Check it out. Let's, this is what I should have did the first time. But I was just testing everything. This whole thing was a test, right? What else are we going to do? So we're going to do this. We're going to come in here. I'm going to go back to my Quixel Bridge assets. We're going to go Quixel Bridge. We're going to go to Warehouse. And I'm going to take one of these shelves. Or actually, I'm going to take one of these pallets. Man, I get the reference. I hate that it's so off. RTX 90. Right. Jump in the front view. GZ it down. Right, that it's on the origin points on the ground. Yep, that's good. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to slap some boxes on this here. Right, we're just going to build out a palette. And I think my camera just died. Yep, camera died. Sorry guys. Camera's out of here. I don't want to replace the battery. Okay, so what we want to do is just build out a cardboard setup here. Why are these boxes, do these boxes look abnormally small, or is it just my scene is so big? Rotate Y 90 GZ GZ. Switch there, GZ. No, that crate looks abnormally large. Or that palette. Cursor to selected. To cursor. Rotate X. Minus. Nope, that's right. GX. I think these boxes are just really small. Okay, we're just going to scale these boxes up a little bit more. GZ. Something like that. Apply scale, otherwise it's going to get all wonky. Scale that up. GZ. And what we're going to do is just build out this palette really fast. And why am I working in such a small window? There we go. And does that palette look like it's straight? It does not, huh? Why is that like that? Okay, whatever. We don't have time to fix that. We're just going to build this palette really fast. And select these guys here. Select this. Alt duplicate. Like that. Alt duplicate. Select everything. One. Alt duplicate Z. 1, 2, 1, 2, GZ. Alright, GZ. Alt duplicate. And then we take these, rotate Z, 180 it. Oh. No. Let's just take one. Rotate Z. Wow, why is the origin way over there? Origin to geometry. Oh, dude, that just totally moved everything. Undo. Yeah, the origin on those ones are fine. I don't know why. Origin to geometry. GX. There it is again. GZ. Top view. G. That. Okay, those are good. Those are good. All right, this palette looks great. Now we can take a couple of these and go rotate Z 180. G, X that over just a tad bit. And take this guy here, rotate Z 180. Just getting some randomness going, right? All right, now I'm gonna take this whole selection, Control J, and now we're gonna add this to our new scattering system. Let's jump back into our room. So we duplicated this, we called it scat 2. Let's take this guy here, our palette. I'm gonna put that in boxes. And then what we're going to do is click on scat 2. We're gonna come over here. I'm running out of time, but I just want to get this last palette set up. We're gonna go back to the shader editor. This new one here, we're gonna call this boxes. Oh, we're actually gonna make a copy. We're gonna call it boxes 2 underscore v2 version 2. And then what we're gonna do is change this up here. We gotta change everything. We're gonna take this and we're gonna change it to scat 2. Right, there's scat 2. We told it we're gonna use the second plane, and then we gotta come down to our data properties and change it to data properties. See, this is set to boxes. We're gonna change it to scat boxes v2, boxes v2, and then scattering on surface. That's okay. And then I'm just gonna delete all of these because we don't need those. We're gonna add some new ones in, and we're gonna add in our new one, object. We're gonna select our object. That's gonna be our object. Let's go ahead and fire up the render. And there's all of our hang on. Now what I want to do is mute the other one so we don't see it, and we're gonna just get this guy adjusted here. All right, room, let me hide the room just for a moment now so I can see what we're doing. There it is. And let's come in here, and we do need to tweak some settings. I'm going to take this out of here. We're going to set this back to sequential. We're going to take currently map. We're going to take that out for now. We don't need 2,000 of those. We're going to actually put like 2 of them for right now. And then the scale is off. Yep, let's click on that, press apply scale just so we can get that set. And then clicking back on plane 2, we're going to come back down to scale right here, and I'm going to set this back to 0, or actually it should be 1. I think 1 was default. 1 was default. And it looks like the origin point on that is a little bit off. Let me click on that. It is. We come to front view. Come to front view and tab into this, and we're going to go GZ, so the origin point is at the bottom of the palette like that, and back to object, and we can bring that back down. That's something like that. Where's the object going to be sitting? And that might be too low still. GZ, something like that. Actually, I probably should tab out of this. Origin to geometry, select everything, GZ. Now we can get it proper. There it is. GZ it back down. Boom. All right, let's jump back in our room. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Gorgeous. Look at that. All right, now we come back on our plane here. Let's put like 4 of these in here, huh? Maybe 4. And these are why they're so far apart. What's up with that random relative instance per polygon? Let me just play with these for it. Evenly spaced instances on edges. Note. Random instances relative of density. All right, let's try that. All right, so again, I can paint these in. I think that's what I'm gonna do because it gives me the most control. I mean, actually, this might be fine just for now. Let me turn the other one on. Room. Actually, let's go back to the other palettes. And whenever you turn them on, you gotta wait for a minute for it to kick in. I just turn it off and turn it back on. Honestly, it's just a good habit to do. See, turn it off, turn it back on. Okay, now it's like way too much. But that's where I come back into my other one. We'll go back to surface plane 1. And I'm actually going to come back onto my painting. And let's go back to texture paint. Right? And we can just paint those around it. So let's go ahead and, was it press F? Yeah, F for brush. And 1. If you press X, we'll go back to the other secondary color. And I'm just going to change that around. Right? Let it update. Oh, I think we have to, do I need to resave this image for it to save? For it to take place? Yes, I do. Okay. That's a little bit interesting. So, let's come back to X. Huh. Can I just paint in the viewport? Let's get rid of that pesky text. Can I just paint in the viewport? So why was it? It was updating before I started painting, and then after I saved the file, now it doesn't update. Interesting. Like now I like, do I have to save it every time to see the updates? Huh, I guess so. Yeah. So I think it's better to probably work with it. Don't save it until you're ready and then save it. I don't know. I'll have to play with that more. But it's kind of counterintuitive. The thing is, I want boxes to stack up high. That's what I really want. Boxes to stack up high. I'm running out of time to keep playing, but I really want to play with this more. Let's see. Let's go back over here to this. And I'm going to kill my light while that's up. I'm pumping out so much heat on myself with that light. Okay, so let me see. Let me come back over here. Now, if we go to translations, yeah, that's okay. But how do we? Let's go to. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. It'll start animating like. Gotcha. Steps, translation steps. What is that doing? There it is. Now it's kind of stacking. Right? Now it's kind of, oops. Translation steps 0. I'll hold down shift. That does feel like it's stacking a little bit. Oh, the curly map is what we use to paint where I want them. Yeah, I want that. I want to keep that. Now, the thing is, like, what if we crank this up to 3,000? Like, I don't want the spacing in between them. Like, I want them to feel like they're being stacked on top of each other. Like, how can we get that position on edge? Oh, that's edge stuff. Position relative to density. Disabled. Edge vertex, every edge evenly. Instance. Up and down direction. Up and down direction. Point. Direction. Reference up direction. Face. Rotation. Step map. Well, this is technically they're stacking, but like it's just the spacing is so random. Like the spacing is so random. So I think that's where I would need to make a group that is more stacked cleanly, like these palettes are here. That's probably what I would want to do. So for example, like if I come back over here, like if I want them to be more stacked cleanly, like I probably should stack these more cleanly. For example, we've got like these boxes here, and then if I take this box and kind of like go like this, and then go GZ it up, something like that. Take this box, something like this, GZ. Oh, I can't see that on the side there. All right. if I take this stack here and we Alt J it, group it together, and then take the origin and put it down at the bottom, now we should probably have a bunch of boxes stacked instead of randomly spaced out like that. See? Yep, now we do. Yeah. Actually, now they all are like that because we used that one. And the only thing I don't like is I used that one box that has that tape on it. And that's really making it obvious. But I'm running out of time, so. Oh, you know what? No. I gotta put that into the system. Okay, hang on. We gotta put that back into the system. So that was back on our original ground plane. Come up here. Now these are all, like, we don't have that many objects. We only really have 2. So if I take this and come here and select this, take this one, delete that one, and take this, we got just the 2 now. Right, there we go. There we go. That's kind of more what I was envisioning, like a bunch of boxes stacked up. Now, I do need to clean it up a little bit for a moment here. So what I'm gonna do is, let's mute that for a second, and then let's come to this, and I'm gonna mute this one for a moment just so I can see these boxes. Because what's also happening is probably the scale might be off on these. Apply scale. And then we probably need to do some readjustment. Scatter plane. Yeah, see. Okay, and then probably I can play with this again here now. Yep, there we go. Huh. I don't know exactly what that step is doing. I gotta figure out what that's doing exactly. Alright, I gotta put it into this really quickly here. I'm running out of time. That's kind of what I was envisioning a little bit. But for just quickly playing around, it's not bad. What's up with the lighting here? Let's get this lighting a little bit more moody. And let me quickly just turn that off. Let me quickly jump into the cameras here. Let's go to camera. I'm gonna go to real lenses. Real lenses. Ooh, that's kind of nice. 100 mil film. Let's go to that. Let's back up again. Let's go to 85. Maybe let's go to a 50 millimeter. Let's go to a 40 millimeter film lens. Kind of okay. Let's go to a 28. It's showing a little bit too much of the warehouse that I don't want to show because it's so bare. Let's see if we take this 28 and get in kind of position something better. Like that part of the window right there is bugging me. But what I would do is build some scaffolding. Like, do I have any metal scaffoldings that we can quickly throw in there? Quicksell walls. Oh, I could have used these Quicksell walls right here. We could have used those walls for one of these windows, but I like what we did with the window there. That was fun. Objects. Oh, concrete pillars. Boom. We got concrete pillars. Let's throw those in there really quickly. Yep. Let's scale that up. Matter of fact, I'm just going to put it right there on the corner of the wall. Or kind of like something like that. GX. But now I'll have to paint it out, right? Because it's like right where the boxes would be. Let's see how it looks. No, I don't like that. I don't have time for that. We gotta wrap up the scene. I gotta go. For now. Oh, I totally moved my camera position that I had. That sucks. Just want to catch just a little bit of that window. Let's go from this side of the room. Let's try a different lens. This reminds me of one of Indiana Jones' scenes. Ah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. The art museum or art warehouse where they were holding all the art stuff. I'm just trying to find an interesting shot. Let me go back to that window. This window right here is bugging me. It's just this corner piece that I don't like here. So what I'm going to try to do is just see if we can move this. Ah, there we go. I just want to put one of the seams right there on the edge, right there, right? Got some weirdness happening right there. Actually, probably I can just Photoshop that out. Whatever. All right, focal point. Let's get a focal point going. I really gotta go. My time is really running out of time. Let's get a focal point going. Let's turn back on that so I can see. We'll kind of focus on those boxes there. If I would have had time, I would have put like like my logo on one of these boxes, so they're like the logos around my boxes. That would have been nice. I don't like how these are overlapping, but we're running out of time. Yeah, I really need to do more work with the randomization of the boxes and stuff. But it was fun. It's just, you know, it's not supposed to be an Instagram banger. It's literally just playing around. I learned a lot about the scattering system already right now just from playing with this a little bit. I think it's a little bit too bright. Let's kind of dim things down a little bit. And then, you know what, while we're at it, let's do... oh, you know what I probably could have done? That would have really made this look nice, but I think I don't have enough time. I could have changed this light that we're using to a volume light, and then we would have the volume beams coming through. I don't have time for that right now, so what I'm just going to do is just quickly throw in some, I'm just going to quickly throw in some, what are we using here? That's what we were using for light, dude? That totally sucks. What am I trying to do? Let's go. Now it's really messing up my our mask that we made with the lights out there. Let's kill the environment. Yeah, that's messing up my mask that we made out there. But if I kill the environment, then we won't see any volumetrics. Or will we? Visible environments. Let's try it anyways. Medium. Add in a volume medium. Take that down to 1. And let's change this to white. Change this to black. Alright, I'll crank this up to 400. And then kind of seeing a little bit. Actually kind of like that one. It's like hiding all the badness of this render. I think I'm gonna go with I kind of like one of these right here. The Pantera is pretty nice. I think I'm actually gonna go with this one here. And then we'll just come over here to. I'm done. I really gotta go. I really gotta eat before I leave. Let's crank up the exposure a little bit and bring the gamma down to make it more contrasty, like that. Yeah. Right. And then let's come into add in some bloom. Crank this up to 20. Let's go 50. Let's go crazy. Let's go to 50, and then let's kind of just choke it back to like certain parts right there. And then what about glare? Let's go 50. No glare needed. Let's come down to ceramic aberration. Blah! And let's kind of just, I always just do like 0.2 just to get a little bit on the edges here. Just a little bit right there on the edges. That looks good. See, if I would have used the other light, the barometric light, I could have used the light beams and we could have had the light beams, but I don't have time for that. Alright, so boom. Let's save that. This is at least going to be the thumbnail of this live stream. Alright, that's finished. Save that. We're going to just save that as a JPEG, 8-bit JPEG, so I can upload that immediately. And we'll just call it YT cover. Boom. Alright, that was fun. Gotta go, guys. Love you guys. Peace out. Thanks for support. Blender Octane Skool community. If you're interested, links down below in the description. I'm out.